All right, everyone, it's live again. It's Friday. Today is May 23rd, 9 a.m. Central here, Dallas, Texas. I'm super pumped, super excited today. The next hour, I'm going to do everything that I can to help you. I reserve this hour to serve you, to help you, answer any questions you have. So it's live. It's DayvissonGPT. Today, I'm trying something completely new. I don't even know if it's working or not, but I'm live here on LinkedIn. I'm live on Facebook, and I'm also live. Where else? YouTube. So super excited. Anyways, DayvissonGPT. The reason why I created this live show. There's multiple reasons why I created this live show, and there's multiple reasons why I'm coming live here weekly for 1 hour. First of all, I'm physically not possible to answer everyone's questions and talk to everyone and jump. If I spend 30 minutes, 1 hour of my day, my week, trying to talk to everyone that has questions, that'll take my entire time, my time for my coaching business, and time for my family. I can physically not do that. So the biggest reason I created DayvissonGPT is that I can answer questions live here for you, here for you. And I challenge any creator, any expert, everyone that's listening to this right now, what's not listening to this right now, I don't care. But these days, there's a lot of experts, there's a lot of amazing overnight success and people teaching everything, coaching anything, everything. I challenge you to come live and do your own GPT version and answer questions to your audience, to your community, and give back live. I challenge, and if you want to do it, I use something called StreamYard. So StreamYard is really cool. I can broadcast this in multiple platforms. I'm not even advertising StreamYard, but they're being super helpful. And you can they're just free trials, whatever. Just push play, just go live, help your community, help the people you're serving, because that's how you can give back. One of the biggest ways you can give back. So I don't know who's live or not. I'm here to answer questions. Today I saw someone posting on LinkedIn that they're quitting LinkedIn. Oh, there's too much AI. There's too much fake news. There is too much fake posters, and everything now is written by AI. So what? Bring your humanity. Come live. Come talk to your audience. Do something to fix it, right? Guess what? That's just the beginning. Okay, this whole AI thing is taking over. Some people, I like Gary Vee. He's like, one of the biggest. I was predicting the future of social media and internet, and he's like, the AI is gonna kill your kids. I'm like, literally, you guys think I'm joking? No, this is coming, guys. This is here to stay. So if you want to bring humanity, if you want to, avoid the fluffy posts and avoid all the GPT pre-baked content, just come live and bring your humanity. So, anyways, just kind of give you a challenge here, and just do it. It doesn't matter if one person is listening. It doesn't matter if it's 5% listening. It doesn't matter if 1,000 listening. Before I joined here today, I know that this will help someone. I don't know who it is. You never know who's watching your stuff. You never know who's listening to your stuff. Every week people come to me and I talk to people. They're like, yeah, I have been reading your posts and I have been following you. I have no idea. That there's people actually, those people, they never liked, they never commented anything. So you never know, everyone. You never know who's listening to your message. But I know that today, between LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, live for 1 hour, this message is going to help someone. So I'm here to answer your questions. I don't see any yet. I have plenty of stuff to talk about. It's DayvissonGPT Live. I have no script. I just have a list of bullet points here that I can touch. And I just go all in. Let me go here really fast. And give me 1 second. All right, cool. Okay, so let me see. Let me see if there's any question here in the chat already. Feels warm like Tranquilly always with ease. Invite sounds. Open and welcoming. First steps feels not for. I don't know who this guy is. He's giving me feedback from my last post, or I don't know. I'm trying to see here. It's saying 6 days ago. I don't understand. Anyways, that's fine. There's no questions. I'm just gonna keep talking. So, give me 1 second. So, if you wanna, again, if you want quit LinkedIn because there's too much AI, you're just quitting yourself, honestly. Like LinkedIn is a great platform to connect to the network, to find people, to find humans, and make real connections and build a personal brand and find your next best opportunity and find your next best. In my case, I coach people tech sales opportunities and jobs. This is it. This is the place. So learn how to use it, use properly, strategically, and you're gonna have success. Um, I'm just trying to see here if this is actually live or not. I think I am live. Anyways, so I'm just gonna keep talking. Again, if you don't have any questions, if you don't have questions, you can just put here in the chat. If you're shy because you don't know people to know that you're asking questions, and maybe you're kind of looking for a job on a hidden mode, stealth mode, and you don't want your manager to know, your friends to know, you can just connect with me, send me a question here on my on my app, on my DM, and I'll read from here. If there's no questions, last week there was a few questions. If there's no questions, again, I can go to my posts, I can talk about my posts. I just want to make sure that this time is for you, and I'm not just kind of here talking the whole time. So I'm just gonna slow down for a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that if you are listening to this, if you have questions, you just drop it. I can always go to my DM. Okay, so I wanna talk about a topic, very important topic here right now. That's called I got a white paper and 3 pens, and I can talk here for hours. So it's a topic I have seen a lot talking to people lately, and as a coach and as I talk to my clients, it's called I'm gonna call proximity bias. All right. So what is proximity bias, everyone? What is proximity bias? At the end of the day, what's really happening is that people, they're not being able to see their value. And a lot of people come to me and they are stellars. They're like high achievers. You can see on the resume, you can see on LinkedIn, you can see on the numbers. But because they're the one, all those numbers, they are too close to their results. Let me tell you again, proximity bias is that when you are too close to your light, too close to your value, too close to your own skills and abilities and gifts that you can't even see. And then someone from the outside, like a manager or a coworker or a friend or a spouse or a coach, can see that light, because the farther they go, like the closer they are to you, the least that they can see that light. It's called the proximity, right? But the farther they go, they can really see your value. So as a coach, when I jump on calls and I talk to people for the first time, I can see their value. And guess what? A lot of times they're just struggling to realize their potential. And that's the value of a coach, the value of a mentor, the value of an advisor, or someone that is from the outside of your own daily life. They can see differently. They can have a different perspective. So I see that. I had one phone call this week where this seller, this guy who's trying to ramp up and get a better job, he has so much value, but he's really like, because of rejections, because of being denied of final rounds, and the dream companies and all that kind of stuff, he needs some help bring that light back, right? To bring that energy back, to bring that value up front. They have to do that. That's the challenge. They have to do that. So that's one topic that I wanted to kind of talk about today, because I have seen that a lot. And I would call that proximity bias on the job search. A lot of times job seekers have a challenge to see their value, their potential. All right, everyone, be talking here for a while, 10 minutes now. I don't see any questions yet, and it's totally fine, and I'll keep talking. If you are listening to this right now or not, can you at least give a thumbs up and say, hey, this is where I'm connecting from? Or, okay, I see a thumbs up here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Someone's listening. I love it. And a lot of times people are just listening after the fact, right? It's just in the middle of the day. It's 9 a.m. here. Easy for me to just jump in, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it for me, I can't see how many people are alive. I don't know how to do it, but I'm here for you. So if you have any questions, ask questions. I touched two bigger topics that I already noticed this week, and I have plenty of stuff to talk about. Books I'm reading, things that I'm trying to do. So another thing that I noticed this week, and I'm gonna call, all right, controllables, and I see that a lot, versus non-controllables. It looks okay. This okay. So the idea is, okay, concentrate on the things you can control, right? Everyone, it's easy said than done, right? But as a coach, I see that all the time. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny, honestly. Like, hey, good morning, Suleiman. Okay, hopefully I'm saying them right. Good morning. If you have questions, just drop here. But controllable versus no controllable. A lot of times on the job search, I'll give an example. Okay, you hit the final round, and you did everything that is under your control. You prepared for the interview, you put the hours, you networked, you did everything, and then you got denied, all right, at the final round. Now, humans, that's cold emailing still works. Okay, I can answer that later. So, as humans, we usually are thinking about the things we can control, right? We're problem solvers, right? At least I am a problem solver. And if there's a problem, I want to fix, and I want to do everything it's on my control to fix that. But as a job seeker, a lot of things are outside of your control. And if you're thinking about the things that are outside of your control, and you think about the wrong things, and you're gonna lose momentum, and then you're gonna lose the energy, and it's gonna get in your head. And job search is all about mindset, and you gotta protect your mind. Okay, it's a mind game. It's a mindset. It's a mind game. Job search, and I'll give an example. So on the final round, if you got denied on the final round and you did everything you could, okay, take 1 day or maybe 1 hour to write down the things you learned, write down the things you could have done better, and move on. Okay, because you never know if that manager already had someone in mind. You never know if that manager already had made a decision even before interviewing you. You never know if they didn't like you. Like, right, at the end of the day, it's all about human. No like and trust. If they know you but they didn't like you, so it's not gonna work for you anyways to go work for them. You know what I mean? Like, so just surrender, right? Surrender. Do what you can, and trust that if it was not meant to be, it was not meant to be. Now you're gonna quit. You're gonna give up. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Because I'm actually the opposite. I don't like to go only and battle to the end and try. But you have to keep trying the things you can control. How many applications you can send, how many networking invites you can do, how much hours you're gonna prepare for the interview, your health, your energy, your mind. Those some of the things you can control. So keep that in mind. So I have a question here, and let me see. It's does cold emailing still work for sales speech? So Suleiman, so I'm talking mostly about how to hack into tech sales, how to get job in tech sales. And I'm not talking necessarily about selling. And even though I have done, I'm a seller most of my life in tech sales for almost 10 years. But yes, 100% cold emailing still works. It's just a matter of who is your target audience, who's your ICP, and who you're targeting, how often you're targeting your messaging. Yes, for sales speech. But since I'm going to talk about tech sales, it does work also for job search. Okay. Of course, it's not the most effective strategy, but we cannot say that it does not work. It does work. Think about for job interviews, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It does work for job interviews. Now, leverage how to use LinkedIn, and it's 10 times better than sending a cold email for job search purposes, right? And it's just a matter of learning how to use how, do you send a message? Do you send 1, 2, or 3? What kind of messages? Do you send an audio? Do you send a video? Do you mix both? And it's an art and a science. But at the end of the day, cold emailing, yes, you can do it. What are you gonna do? So it depends on your role, right? So if you're a seller and you have a list of 100 companies and 100 sales manager, if you want to don't send just an email, right? Send an email with your video, send an email with your portfolio, send an email with your website, differentiate it yourself. So you actually get a reply for that email. Imagine how many emails that sales manager is receiving, but he's not getting a lot of emails for people actually trying to work for him, for his team, right? So it actually can work really well. I'll use it personally. I don't teach my clients to do email. They can just get their jobs by leveraging LinkedIn, but it's totally doable. Great question. I appreciate that. Hopefully that helped you. Let me go here. I can actually reply here to okay, so any other questions? Perfect. Okay, so here. So I talked about proximity bias. I talked about controllable and non-controllables. There's something that I'm seeing a lot on LinkedIn these days, and it's a very sensitive topic, but I think it can help someone here, so I'm going to talk about it. Okay, that's my personal opinion, by the way. This is DayvissonGPT, and it is what it is. It's based on personal experience. I'm been coaching people for 15 years since college, and I'm a career full-time coach right now, and I see this a lot, right? And this is not new. This is something it's through the ages, which the topic is ageism. I don't even know how to. Well, let me here. I think that's how you spell ageism. I think. I don't know. Maybe. Hey, listen. If you're like over 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, if you still want to work, okay, if you're on the work, if you're on the market to find a job, you have to get over, all right, your own personal ageism bias, all right. Of course, everyone, let's be honest. Of course, there is on the other side, whoever is hiring, if no, but then listen. If they are concerned about your age, if they don't want to hire you, specifically just because of your age, run. Just run. Run from them, from the organization, from that team. You're not going to be happy there anyways. What's the point? What's the point? It's all about strategy. It's all about strategy. You got to be strategic. You got to find the organizations that gives a bleep about your age. That you got to find organizations that actually value your experience. Okay, so shift is a framework in your head. Instead of thinking about age, think about experience. The longer you live, the more experiences you have, the more value you can give back to the workforce, to any organization. Now, if you think about retirement, if you think about 3-5 years, I'm going to retire, and I just want to keep working a little bit here more so I can add to my 401k and pay some bills, and you bring that energy. You see how I start talking a little bit slower and a little bit heavy, and then you don't have that passion? Good luck, right? But hey, I'm ready to work. Those are the stories. Those are the things that I have done in the past. Hey, give me a chance. This is the value that I can bring. Storytelling, show your value. That's the number one. Now, second thing, to break down the ageism problem and bias is networking. Network debunks everything. Okay, and network, it can have the horrible resume. You might not even have a LinkedIn profile. It can be, I don't know, older. But if you have the right network, the people that know you, and they like you, and they trust you, they can open the doors to any job. Okay. Now, if you're trying to compete for a role where it's 80%, it's hiring, younger kids out of college, and giving like free lunch and ping pong, or I don't know, like perks that you don't care, right? And or giving motivators and things that they're not intrinsic for you, and they're trying to attract a different type of crowd. So stay away from that, anyways, right? Now, at the end of the day, let's say worst case scenario, because of your age, nobody wants to hire you. There's other options, okay? Especially these days. Listen, become a consultant, okay? All the stories and things you have done, sell your knowledge. We're on the knowledge era, $1 trillion business. Get on it. Pay a coach, learn how to do it. Get on it. Pay a coach, find a program, build your own business. If you really are hungry to give back and to be on the workforce and show your value, you don't need to be hired. You don't need a job. You can just be you, be yourself. You have value, so find a way to provide that value. So that's my 2 cents on that. I can help anyone. I usually target my perfect profile, right? It's just me like 5-10 years ago, right? Younger, hungry in tech sales, building a family, wants to make more income, wants to learn, to grow, to develop. Just the prime of like mid kind of stage of my career, and like ready to run, right, and do what it takes. Those are the people that I'm coaching mostly right now. But hey, if it's you, there is multiple opportunities for you. Don't let that get in your head. Age, none of that. So enough of that. Questions, everyone. I don't know who's listening here right now, but if you have a question, just drop here in the chat. You can go to my DM, ask to connect, and send me your question. Otherwise, I will just keep rolling here. And I know someone's listening to this somewhere, and this is going to help. Now, let me tell you a personal thing, personal story here. So I am in the process of writing a book. In fact, I have been working on this for years. So let me show you something. This is crazy. So I have there's a bunch of notes here. And brainstorming. This is just one. So a lot of times, people are like using ChatGPT to write books. I think it's funny. Hey, go ahead. Use ChatGPT to help you finish your book, but don't try to create a book out of ChatGPT and just asking prompts. That's lame. You have value, like you have knowledge, so take time to brainstorm your stuff and make something original. So I have been working my book for years. The challenge is finding the time, right? Raising a family and working full time, and now, right, being entrepreneur, and then I mean, gosh, like I was trying. So I'm like trying to find, the momentum. So I'm getting close. I'm getting really close to my first draft of my book, and I'm super excited. It's all about this whole topic of finding your next opportunity, getting it, out of, like, I feel like a lot of people are just trapped. They just can't move on, or they have a hard time going from one job to another, or they just have a hard time, um, getting a promotion, or like doing things that they love. So years and years of coaching and talking to people and doing life coaching and putting all together. So I have announced here before. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So I want to this next week. I want to challenge myself to get moving on my book idea. So every day I'm going to work for 2 hours, at least 2 hours. I have to find time. If I have to wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., I don't care. And I want to report here next Friday that I did it. Next Friday on DayvissonGPT, I want to report that I spent 10 hours on my book. And I'm just committing here with the audience, with you. And so I have some public commitment that I'm going to make time for it. So I'm excited. Yes, let's go. And I'm actually trying to decide if I self-publish, if I find an agent. I'm gonna go after agents and see what's available out there. And if anybody's listening to this, if you're writing a book right now, and if you have advice, or if I've published a book, if you have advice, let me know. I'm talking to a couple of coaches and getting different feedback and ideas. But yeah, it's a challenge, and it's one of those things that it's a life goal, and it's a way for me to get my message out there. And I just have too many ideas. That's my biggest problem. There's just too much in my brain. It's hard to just compile everything in a few pages. But I'm excited. So that's on the personal side here on the DayvissonGPT. That's what's happening on my CPUs, or my processing power. It's being used to work on my book. Those are just like thoughts and ideas that I have. Yeah. Which brings me to another topic here. If you don't have a question, I'm just gonna keep rolling here, keep talking. And it's a super important something that I see that people lack, and I do too. I mean, I'm not doing perfect. None of that. I'm just DayvissonGPT, and I'm just trying to learn as I go. But another topic. Another topic that I want to talk about today. We hear about this all the time. We hear about, hey, you have to be good at this. We hear like, hey, you have to practice it. This is the way you sell. This is the way you sell yourself. This is the way to tell your story, your message, which it brings me to this topic here, right? Storytelling. We all have to be good at storytelling. So with job search, is no different. Everyone's no different. And no matter if you're like trying to transition to a new job, from one job to the other. So just think about this. Let me teach storytelling in a quick, easy step. So let's say you were here in point A, and you want to go to point B, right? Any transition is a journey, and any journey, you can tell a story. All right. Let me give an example. Okay, let's say you were like laid off. Let's say you're laid off. Unfortunately, I know there's a lot going on, right? And then you want to get change industry. Okay, so I got laid off, and now I know what to do. Gosh, it was hard. Gosh, like I think I was in the wrong industry, and I want to try something new. And let's just go ahead and start fresh again. Okay. Now, as you start interviewing, as you start networking with people, as you're trying to move to the next stage, you have to tell a story. All right, you have to come up with your own story, right? So a story, and how you do it. So here, so when you go from point A to point B, you have to tell a story. And I see a lot of people struggling to come up with that story. I see a lot of people struggling, brainstorming ideas and how do they can, uh, tell the people on the other side where they're coming from. Tell people on the other side why are they coming from, or maybe they, in this case, right? In this case, they got laid off. Maybe they're embarrassed, or maybe people on the other side might be thinking that it wasn't good enough. It was performance, and they start putting all those things in their head instead of like actually uh, being excited about it. They start worrying about their own story. You guys, you control your story, all right? You are the master of your own life. You are the one responsible to move to the next stage. Nobody else is going to come to save you. Nobody else is going to come to help you unless you go after someone's help, unless you hire a coach, unless you get a career coach or whatever. Like they can help you draft that story, but you have to be good at it. So, hey, use technology these days. We talked about ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT, say, hey, this is my scenario. This is where I want to go. This is the company that I want to interview. This is the company that I want to apply for. How can I better tell my story? How can I better craft my resume? How can I better go to the recruiting call? And if they ask me why you're transitioning, ask ChatGPT in this case, maybe 2 or 3 bullet points that you should concentrate on your story. So use technology to help you build your story, right? But don't be stuck on your old story. Be focused on the future. And that's how you build your story. Begin your story with the end in mind. Begin your new story, your new version with where you're going, not necessarily to, where you're coming from. It's kind of uh, counterintuitive, right? Because you want to be like, okay, I'm from point A. I want to talk about point A, but talk a lot about point B. Hey, I'm super excited. Hey, something happened, I was part of this layoff. But guess what? It took time. It took like a week or two. I went on a retreat. I talked to my wife or whatever, business. And now like, hey, I came to the conclusion that those are my top 3 skills. And that's why I'm applying to your organizations because I'm super excited because it aligns to your values. And I see where your organization is going. And I want to be part of this journey. You see, like you got to tie the past, forget about the negative, focus on the positive, and lean to your future options. And that's how you can kind of get out of this, thoughts of not being enough or not being right enough or imposter syndrome and all that stuff does not help you anyways. So be better at storytelling. Use technology to help you be better storytelling. Go ask for help. Get people's feedback to draft the best way you can. That's my 2 cents there. I don't see any questions here. Hey everyone, I have just bullet points here of ideas that I can talk. I haven't even touched my posts this week. I can go to my posts. I can give you a live feedback based on your profile, based on the companies that you want to apply to. Yeah, it's your time here, my time to just help you and do my best. Let me see here another topic. Interviews. Oh yeah, so yesterday, got a few people that I'm coaching right now. One of my clients. I'm gonna keep everything private here, names and everything. But preparing for a final round. So one of the things that we did mock interviews and we do, role plays, demos, role plays, sales role plays, preparing for this final interview. But one thing that stuck to me the most about practicing And it reminded me of a topic that's super, super important. People remember how they felt, not what they heard. People remember in the interviews how they felt about you, how they felt when you're telling your stories, how they felt when you're telling your stories, how they felt when you're telling your numbers, not necessarily your numbers, not necessarily, uh, what exactly is in your resume, like bullet point by bullet point. They're gonna remember how they felt, like that energy you got transferred. Interviews is about human connection, right? I thought how I teach is like interviews is falling under the bucket of communication, right? Because communication, I love it. It's so broad. Like I have a bachelor's degree in communication. But what is communication? It's just so broad. It's not about talking. A lot of times it's just about listening, right? That's actually the biggest communication is done through non-verbals, like, right? Talking here, how my eyes goes, my hands, the posture, everything is communication. Um, if you can help the interviewer feel the words, that's gold. That's the most important, right? If you can kind of slow down, right? Change the pace. So we talked about that. Change kind of the pace, kind of slow down. All right. Bring some emotion. Like when you're telling a story, like, the situation, like my manager came to me and told me, like, hey, we have to hit quota by the end of the month, and you're like 40% behind. When my manager came to me, told me that, man, that was hard. So what I did, you see how you can bring emotion to how you talk, and that's super important during the interview process, right? So we talked about that. People are going to remember other things you say. They're going to remember how they felt, right? And that builds human connection. That gets you to the final round. A lot of people, they know a lot of stuff. They think that just knowing and talking, blah, 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 and it's about human connection. All right. I'm an interpersonal communication professor, teacher for the last 5 years. And we talked a lot about that, right? It's about knowing who you are and trying to understand your audience. That's the number one communication piece, is trying to understand who you're talking to, right? Who's your audience, right? Who is on the other side of the call? Who's on the other side of the table? Is that a recruiter? Guess what? You're talking a different way, and you're gonna talk to a hiring manager. Oh, is a manager from another team? Guess what? You talk differently than you would be talking to your own manager. Oh, it's just a coworker. Guess what? You talk differently to a coworker, then you talk to a manager, then you talk to a recruiter. You see, your audience determines how you talk, your pace, your voice, your energy, how you do everything. So, interviews, remember this. People are gonna remember how they felt. You know what you said. Hopefully that helped someone out there trying to, right? Like, I had to doing all those interviews and then getting frustrated because they're not um, being successful in their interviews. Just think about that. If you can just master that piece, and just think about it before you jump on a call, on the interview. Just think about it. How can I connect with this person? How can I make them feel my stories, my value, right? Just by thinking about that, you're gonna bring a different energy to that game, and you're gonna be thinking much more strategically on the things you're saying, right? Um, just a thought there. Yeah. So everyone, again, it's 40 minutes here. I'm be talking for 40 minutes already. There's 20 minutes left. You can ask your questions now. You can say for next week. It's for me. It doesn't matter. This is for you. I'm here to help you. DayvissonGPT. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. It's free. I'm running all cylinders here. My GPU is high today. I'm ready to make some damage. So ask your questions. I'm just here on LinkedIn. I don't know if people are asking questions on Facebook, asking questions on YouTube. I cannot go there right now. Maybe I need a VA, an assistant to go and see if there's anybody listening in other platforms. But I'm here on LinkedIn. If you're on another platform asking questions, come to LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, you gotta create a LinkedIn account, because here's where you find your next best opportunity. All right, so boom, boom, boom. Guys, if you're looking for jobs, if you're not getting hit, if your recruiters are not coming to you, if I cannot tell you this enough, if applying for jobs and you're connecting with people on LinkedIn, people are not replying to you, you gotta be more visible. Visibility. Start posting, start commenting on their posts, start following organizations, companies. It's work. It works. It will take work, but it works. People, if you're not seeing, you're not remembered. That's the very, very, very first step of job search. You have to be known. You have to be known. Know. And then you have to be liked. And then people need to trust you. Trust me, nobody's gonna trust you if they don't know who you are. So be visible. Davison, I can't do videos like this. I cannot post a LinkedIn. I don't have time for that. But guess what? See, if you're quiet, if you're not sharing a voice message, nobody's gonna know, right? You gotta be visible. You gotta tell people that you are looking for opportunities. You gotta talk to your neighbors. You gotta talk to the people at church. You gotta talk to your best, closest friends, your past coworkers. You gotta be out of your comfort zone, especially in sales. I mean, if you're gonna sell yourself, are you gonna sell a product, right? You have to be first good at selling yourself. First, be good at selling yourself. Second, be good at selling someone else product or solution, right? And if you are good at selling it, then hiring managers need more people like that, right? Because they know you're going to be in front of clients. They know you're going to be networking. They know you're going to be needing to talk to people, jumping phone calls. So be good at that. Like I have a comment here. Let me see if it came on my DM. I don't know if it's a question or not. Let me check. I'm going to prioritize questions first. Someone's trying to sell me something. I can't. I'm live right now. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help people here. Job search. Check it out. Reply DMs and so who's not seeing is not remembered. All right, that's the very first, the number one rule. Right here, the number one rule to be seen, to find a job. So the number one rule to find a job, everyone. Number one rule: be seen. All right, be seen. And guess what? Guess what? There's a tool that you can use to be seen. All right, it's free. It's LinkedIn. Called LinkedIn. Leverage LinkedIn to be seen. All right, I can't can tell you that enough. I'm not even looking for jobs right now. I'm a career coach. I help my clients to find jobs, and there's at least once a week a recruiter coming to me, offering me an interview just because I'm here. I'm present. I'm posting here and there, and I'm making those weekly lives. And anyways, like, there's multiple ways, everyone, to find a job, and I'm trying to teach you the shortcuts, the strategies. Okay, I'm gonna go. There's another DM here. Maybe someone trying to sell me something live here. I'm gonna call you in. If you're trying to sell me right now, because I'm live on LinkedIn, I'm gonna read your name and call you off. So stop texting me about selling here. Okay. Actually, this is a good one. All right, so This is actually a question that I just received. I'm not going to tell names, none of that. And like I said, I'll keep private. Um, no room to grow. Good since we come 5 years ago. Okay, very, very interesting. So this person here is stuck. There's no room to grow in the organization, even though they have reached like the peak. They received the highest award, like club. Um, you know, and there's no opportunities on that team. Guess what? You're stuck. That's the bad news. And guess what? If that team there's no opportunities for you to grow, that's probably a red flag, right? I ignored some of those red flags as a tech seller, but they're visible. They're right there. If a team's not growing, if there's no opportunity to grow, if nobody got promoted on that team for the next like 1, 2, 3 years, that's a red flag for you to you can either stay there and then if you're learning a lot, that's good. So just staying there for personal development, for growth, that's a good reason to stay. Or have a really, really good manager. So it's hard to find. So staying on that job, because of your management is a great thing to do, even though you're not seeing opportunities for growth. But if you want to like a promotion, and if you want to, risk getting a new manager, or you just gotta get a jump. You just have to do it. You're gonna have to do it. And we talked about today about storytelling, how you're gonna tell that story, right? When you make that jump. So yeah, there's no straight answer for someone who's stuck. It requires a lot of understanding, and the reason why they're stuck is that because of them, is that because of they're just missing career development strategies. They just don't have the support that they need. They just can't see the opportunities ahead of them. Because I'll give my personal example here, okay? When I was working for IBM, I felt stuck. I was there for 5 years on my role, and I didn't see a lot of opportunities for growth and development, and all those red flags came, and I had to find my way out, right? And that's when I worked, and I did everything that I teach people how to do to get to the next job. It took me 2 years, but I was able to break into Microsoft during COVID. COVID kind of slowed everything down, but what I'm trying to say is that I had to make a decision to pivot out, right? And also, even though I loved the team, the manager, they just had their hands tight, right? It was just the nature of that specific team and organization. So you gotta consider and think those things. And there's nothing wrong for you to move on either, right? If you're feeling stuck, and if you feel like if that's actually taking energy and it's not helping you out, you just gotta move on. Just gonna, get unstuck, right? And anyways, good. I like that. Send more questions on my DM, and I'll answer them live here. But don't blame yourself too much, right? For not being promoted. Don't blame yourself too much for not having those opportunities, because sometimes it just happens. It's again, the uncontrollables are there, and you have to know how to differentiate. And if you have a hard time knowing how to differentiate, just get a second opinion. Talk to someone else. So I see here, take a sir, that helped. By Suleiman. Okay, awesome. I'm glad that that helped. You're probably not here anymore, but it's all good. Now, another problem that I see a lot. I'm out of papers. Let me see. I need to bring more paper next time. But something that I see a lot, and I want to talk about this, which is part of the strategy, right? So there's 3 areas that I tell all the time. Hey, everyone, don't go too far. If you're having trouble getting a job, if you're having trouble landing your next opportunity, if you're having trouble getting the final offer, don't go too far. Think about 3 things. All right. Number 1, strategy. All right. I know it's a big word, and there's a big word for a reason. Number 2, visibility. Yes, it's a big word. It's a big word for a reason. Number 3, communication. And I use those 3 because I can encompass everything else on those 3. And biggest problem that I see, which is lack of strategy. It falls in the first step. Is the shotgun or the sniper approach, right? Which the shotgun approach, you're just shooting everywhere, you're just applying everywhere, and your eyes are closed, and if you hit, oh gosh, I got called for an interview. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the interview, and then you start researching that organization, and then you're like, oh, I don't know anyone in that organization. I'm gonna go anyway, and you spend 5 hours of your week, and you waste all your energy and time to not even hear back or get a feedback. Oh gosh, that's just the shotgun approach, right? You're shooting everywhere, and then in the universe, the stars are gonna align, and something's gonna happen, and someone's gonna reply, and I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna get an interview, and I'm gonna be really good. I'm gonna practice a lot, and guess what? I'm gonna get the job, and then guess what? Sometimes that happens. But hey, listen, the statistics, the percentage of this happening, it's very, 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 very low. So now the sniper strategy, right? You're very strategic, right? You're like a pro. You have a target and you have a strategy. Okay, at least I have a target here. At least I'm not shooting everywhere. At least I have a board. I might not hit the core, I may not hit the center of the target, but at least I have a board where I'm gonna aim and I'm gonna try. But it's more strategic. You might get more interviews. Maybe I'm gonna apply for those organizations that are close to my zip code, or to that I have some coworkers there, that I have some network or whatever. Like the shotgun approach, good luck. The sniper approach, that's my approach. That's how I work with my clients, and that's how they get offers. That's how they get interviews. You have to be strategic, okay? Now, if you're having a hard time setting up that strategy, ask for help, right? Or it can take time trying to figure that out, or ask for help. Super important, everyone. Please don't use the shotgun. It might work for other approaches. It might work for something else. You can still be volume based. You can still be like boom, 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 boom. You can still, try to have volume and speed of tries, but you have a target. That's different than just being like good luck, right? Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that because I talked to someone this week, and I had trying to review the resume, LinkedIn, and all that. The free kind of review that I give, and this person was just like, "Oh, I'm not getting interviews." Like, okay, your resume. Okay, we can fix this here. We can fix this on the LinkedIn, but what are you doing? Like, what's your strategy? And there's no strategy. I'm just applying. Shotgun approach. Like, hey, take some time. It's not easy. Listen, the sniper approach is not easy. It's the expertise. It takes preparation. It takes skills, right? Shotgun approach, anyone can do it. Just a fact there. It's coming close to 1 hour. I just can't believe it. Now, I am going to stop for a second here. There's 5 minutes. If anyone has a last minute question, drop a question on my DM. I'll check on my phone, or drop a question right here, and I will help you out give my best here. One of the reasons why I also created this DayvissonGPT is that I know, again, I mentioned that at the beginning of this call. There's a lot of experts. There's a lot of people talking and coaching, and but a lot of times they don't have an experience of how this person sounds. Like, I have an accent. I'm from Brazil, right? This is who I am. I'm a dad. I'm a busy dad. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a coach. I'm an author, right? I'm writing a book, right? Um, I am I'm a consultant. I am an advisor, right? This is who I am. It's DayvissonGPT. You get what you get. I'm real, right? So if you want to, that's why I'm doing this too. Just because there's such a lack of proximity these days, especially when people like working online and doing everything virtually. Like it's just like, hey, if the sun's right here, right in my window right now, this is live, right? If my kids open the door over there, I have to talk to them, right? It's just like biology is, you know, you can feel and see everything, right? Um, so hopefully, I know that this helped someone out there today. This video is gonna be online on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So that's together is like a billion people out there. I don't know. Someone's gonna listen to this and I'll be like, uh, you know, it's gonna help them to move the needle. And if that's you, that's the only thing I ask. Just come to me and say, "Hey, Davidson, that what he said, it was awesome," or whatever. Like I like whatever you want to do. Maybe don't even come to me. Just use some of this knowledge and apply. That's the biggest ask that I give you. Is that if someone resonated with you, share with someone that uh, might be needing this information, or apply it in your life, and have the impact that you need to have. So one more topic here, so we can close. I don't see any questions, so I'm just gonna close and talk about something that's kind of personal, but it might help someone out there. So I'm gonna try to summarize here. One of the hardest times of my life, like really, like if not the hardest one, um, in the middle of the night, it was like probably 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I was just sitting by myself in the hospital room, emergency room, by the way. And then this lady just shows up on my side. First, I got scared. I was like, "Is this an angel? Like, am I sleeping? Am I awake? I don't know. It's 3 a.m. I'm just here in the middle of the night." And then she just put her hand on my back, and then she's like, "Hey, it's okay. Um, everyone's gonna forget this." In that case, it was my wife. She was also hospitalized, right? So the nurse told me, "Hey, she's gonna forget all this. Now, you're not gonna forget. I and you need to take care of yourself, and you need to go home now, right now. Go sleep. Your kids are home. Go home, and I'm gonna be watching her. She's gonna be okay." Now I'm speaking out to the people who got laid off recently. I know it's a hard topic out there. It sucks, and you might be like really down. You might be thinking like, "Gosh, what's next? How I'm gonna pay my bills? How I'm gonna, the market's hard. There's how I'm gonna find my next job." Let me talk to you right now. Your family, people around you, they're gonna forget all this stuff. This moment that you're going through right now. You are not. So you gotta take care of yourself. Okay, you gotta take care of yourself. Your mindset needs to be strong. So you can wake up next morning and you can go after that job and you can go after the interview and you can bring the right energy. You have value. A layoff does not take away your value or your experience or your resume or all the things you have done up to this point. So take care of yourself. Go this weekend. It's Labor Day on Monday. Have some time with your family. Have some time to reflect. Set the right strategies. Take care of your mindset, your brain, your health. Go after. You got this. DayvissonGPT live here. Thank you so much, everyone, for this week. I'm super excited to jump here next week and can't wait to see you again. Drop questions here in the comment. Drop questions on my DM. Find me with your questions and I'll help you. Bye-bye.